We get joined once again by the head coach of your LSU baseball team, a team that is locked in right now, undefeated in the midweek, kicking ass on the weekends, fresh off their third SEC sweep of the season, getting it done on the road in a top 10 battle. Coach Jay Johnson, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for joining us again.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing great. I never got to officially talk to her, but I was informed that your wife was in the crowd at the Golden Gala that me and Jake emceed last Friday. Very good time. Apologize for me though, because I did start just on the stage telling her how much I loved you and everything. So I don't know if that got back to you, but thank her for being a good sport about it.
We were trying to find out the score update.
Yes,
though.
we were trying to get a score update. That is true. And then we were very pleased, like we have been most times this season. So before we look forward, Coach, let's take a look back last weekend, and it starts with Cade Anderson, one of the more legendary performances we've ever seen in a Tiger uniform, a regular season game that will stand the test of time. They'll always be remembered. Complete game shutout. 130 pitches. And if you could you take us into the decision-making process, right? Because I started doing it, like after the seventh inning, I kept tweeting his stats and being like, okay, that's his night. Like, wow, what a great performance. What is the process between you and him of deciding to give him the opportunity to continue to go back out there?
Yeah, so in the sixth inning, actually in the sixth, we got Zach Cowan up. And so he was going. And basically, had anybody got on base in the seventh, eighth, or ninth, he was going in the game. Literally one runner on base. And so in the sixth, he was the leadoff double. He's going. And then literally the inning was over like 6 pitches later. And then it's like, okay, we're gonna send him back out, see if we can shorten the load for Zach. And the seventh, I mean, he just blew their doors off. I think that was the inning maybe he struck out the side.
Yep.
And then, so it's just like, okay, anybody on base, like, he's coming in. And then in the eighth, like, same kind of thing. And then by the ninth, it was like, okay, if I try to take him out of the game right now, he's going to, like, murder me.
Yeah.
And then it was 1, 2, 3 in that inning. So all the credit to Cade. Excellent performance. We had Zach ready to go. It just nobody got on base, and I mean that game was the definition of getting stronger as you go. And I'm proud of him for that because if you ask me one thing to keep building, for him to improve, it was to increase his durability, and he's done that as we've gone along in the season.
Well, and it's crazy too because like you look back, I mean, it's surviving that first inning like he did. He's at 58 pitches through the third. You would have never guessed what was coming down the tracks. And it's great to hear that confirmed because I definitely felt that tightrope that he was on, right? Anybody reaches and he's out. And the play that I keep thinking about is that defensive play he made and what essentially turned into a swing and bunt, throwing it up to his hand, firing a fastball over to first. I mean, is it too much to say? Like that's one of the more athletic and impressive plays I've seen out of a pitcher, just from a pure defensive perspective.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a good athlete. He could, if I let him, he could easily work his way into our position player mix.
Wow.
I mean, as an outfielder and as a hitter. And maybe we'll do that to get him to come back next year.
Coach, you only used 5 pitchers over the weekend in a 3-game sweep. I'm not sure that I've ever seen that watching college baseball, literally ever. Have you ever been a part of anything like that where you go out there, you only have to use 5 arms and also win every game?
I don't think so. Bill Frankus, our SID, said I guess it happened here in 2005.
Wow.
So when he said that, I was laughing. I was like, wow, I was the head coach at Point Loma Nazarene in 2005. A lot of things have changed over
Great
20
campus.
years.
Great campus.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, a lot of things have changed. And it just tells you how unique that is. I will tell you, after a complete game on Friday, or game 1, that scenario was totally plausible when you got Zach and Kaysen, on the back end of the game. I mean, they're essentially like 2 more starters. So, you get that one really good performance, then it's for this team, you could see it happening again. It's just really hard to throw a complete game, which makes what Cade did more amazing.
Oh, yeah, especially in today's game. But then there's been just continued growth out of everybody. I mean, Einstein feels like someone who just continues to get better and better on this level. I mean, when that breaking ball is hitting like it was last Friday, it's a sight to behold. And then you look into it's a weird thing, right? So only 5 guys get to pitch on the weekend, so you have to almost look to the midweek to kind of start to continue to develop guys and get guys who are going to be relied upon down the stretch. And was that part of the logic in kind of switching up how you approached William Schmidt there, getting him in, coming out of the pen in a high leverage situation, closing out that game? Like, is that kind of laying track for the future there?
Well, yes and no. We'll start with Connor Ware. Like, I think he's a super important part of our pitching staff, and he threw one important inning against Mississippi State. He got Ace Reese and Hunter Hines out. Those guys are really good hitters. And it kind of got lost because it was in that 17-9 melee game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That inning was important in keeping us, keeping the game under control. And then we didn't use him in the midweek. I can't remember why. And then it just didn't work out because of how this series played out. And it's like, hey, we got to get this guy on the mound and get him, because he's going to be important in the weekend this weekend. And then he did a great job. Like, I mean, he got 3 innings on like 36 pitches or 35 pitches or something like that. So we hit exactly what we wanted to there. We wanted to get Jaden Newt back in the ball game. And I really wanted to get Cooper Williams and Maverick Rizzi in the game. It just kind of worked out the way that it did. And then in regards to William, I mean, there's 2 things going on there. Like, we want to keep his pitch count up, for the postseason, if you need that 3rd, 4th starter, type thing. And then at the same time, you're right. Like, it's coming again where he's in the game, in an SEC game, at the end of the game, and he has the pitches to, get strikeouts and weak contact and all of that. So doing it at the end of the game, helps that. And he made an interesting observation of, like, the first time in college where I've come into the game where we've been losing.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
And I know it's amazing. And, he did a great job. Of handling that situation, and it was really dominant. And the dugouts are in kind of a different spot there at Nichols, and you kind of looking up straight out. I mean, everything was good for him the other night.
Coach, one of the things I love since you've been here at LSU is you're going out there every time this team plays. You want to win, midweek game, weekend, it does not matter. You're going for the victory there, and we saw that on the road this week in a midweek game against an in-state opponent. But I got to ask you, did you ever think that a rally would get started after Bear Jones was waiting outside of the porta potty and it became a rally potty, and now everybody's talking about the viral picture of him fully uniformed up with the helmet on, ready to go to the restroom?
Yeah, what was great about that? The Nichols fans, I'm probably sure as soon as they saw him standing out there, were like, no, go ahead, Jared, go ahead. Jump me in line. Yeah, wants to pick a fight over that guy getting done when he needs to get done outside the porta potty. Yeah, that was quite a scene. I told Coach Herring, hey, we're going to have to get that a little closer to the dugout.
Hey, he can't fit in a porta potty. No. I don't even know how that's possible.
No. Yeah.
Look, he answered.
Dude, more classic. He's wearing his helmet. Like, I mean,
that's the funniest part of the picture. Easily. I mean, it does answer the age-old question: does a bear crap in the woods?
That's right.
Apparently, he does, just in a porta potty.
There you go,
Coach. Another thing before we look forward is, look, this lineup right now, in terms of quality at bats, 1 through 9, everybody's so disciplined, working counts, not striking out. It's really impressive. I mean, I even think back to last Thursday where I thought there was a wonderful kind of mirror image where the top of the lineup combines to create one of the runs. The bottom of the lineup combines to create the other. So this is all to say the offense is absolutely locked in right now. And there's been a few situations though where like it seems like you're almost putting your thumb on the scale to practice some manufacturing of runs. And maybe practice isn't fair, right? Because even against Nichols the other night, you want to go ahead and ensure that you're adding a run. But when you have guys that can hit it so well, get on base so much. Sometimes people see these bunt plays, they're like, oh, what's going on there? But do you feel that, like, you're so complete everywhere else that you also want that portion of the game to be available when it matters down the stretch here and on the weekends?
Yeah, I think really it's just about making sure, first off, you're trying to win the game. And with that rally, and then, that play is actually designed to score 2 runs. And if the bunt goes down, we score 2 runs on the play, and the game's over. Like, it's over at that point. And that's always the first priority. Secondly, Jake is a good bunter. He did not get that one down. And, that's part of it, executing the play. But really the root of it is, it doesn't matter what the conditions are, night game, day game, wind blowing in, wind blowing out, small field, big field, all of those things. We want to be, prepared to win. I mean, I think, it can get lost in like 23. Like, obviously everybody knows Trey Morgan was able to defend the bunt. That's part of it. Yep. But then in the elimination game against Tennessee, we were only up 1-0. Gavin Dugas hits 18 homers. He lays down a perfect drag bunt with, Morgan on second, and they throw it away, and now it's 2-0.
True.
And, 2-run lead. So it's always kind of been a part of like what we do. We just missed that one, and we want to be able to win any type of game. That's really all it comes down to.
Yeah.
Coach, obviously the transfer portal is a great deal. It's been great for LSU baseball, LSU football, but I think there's a story on your team of somebody that didn't go in the portal, that sat around and waited his turn. That's Ethan Fry, who is playing really, really well right now. Had a big night down there in Thibodaux on Tuesday night. Continues to just play baseball the right way. Love watching him get out of the box. He hits it on the ground. He's trying to beat out everything. Just plays the game, it feels like, the right way. And very easily could somebody like him have gone in the portal, tried to go somewhere else. He's a hell of a player, would have played somewhere else, but he waited his turn here at LSU. So as good as the portal is, and it's been good to all of us sitting here, how cool is it to see him stick around, wait for his turn, and then once he gets his opportunity, play as well as he has?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And if you know Ethan, it's not a surprise. Like, the guy's like the highest character guy you could have on a team, and very mature for whatever he is, 21 years old. And, the only reason he didn't play as a freshman is like he's on like one of the top 5 teams of all time. I mean, he hung right there with those guys, like in inter squads. And I want to say I gave him a start or two, like early in the season in a midweek, and really believed he was going to be a good player. Last year, roster wise, just post draft, like we were just a little too right-handed. So he was kind of in and out at the beginning. And then right when I was about ready to turn him loose, kind of like we had this year, he got hurt.
Yeah.
And that really limited our ability to set the lineup properly with the pieces. But to Ethan's credit, he toughed it out, man. He had shoulder surgery after the season. And so he played all of last year, essentially from conference play on, with a shoulder that needed a repair.
Damn.
And then this year, like, he just kind of stayed with it. Didn't maybe have the best like lead up into the season as he normally has. So it's kind of like in and out, but I've always believed it. And I was like, hey man, you're playing against lefties, keep going. Your role's going to expand. And that's exactly what's happened. And, he's a great human being on top of, in my opinion, one of our best players.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, look, you get opportunity, you make the most of it, you create more opportunity. He's doing that right now. Coach, one of the fun quirks about this weekend, again, staying on the road, it feels like it's a very extended road trip, but heading over to Auburn, but Friday night, going to be Cade Anderson versus Sam Dutton. Kind of interesting there, right? A former ally now on the other side. What do you think that's going to be like lining up across from Dutton?
We've actually had guys that on teams that we've played that were here last year, but they didn't really play. Like, this is the first time. Well, I guess at Louisiana Tech, Zeb Riddell, he homered against us.
Yeah, a couple homers.
Yeah. Homer against us. Yeah, that's right. So, like, this is like the 6th time. I mean, maybe this one may seem like a little bit more because he's starting pitcher on the weekend. Like, I love Sam. He's a national champion, very good competitor, throws a ton of strikes. And, he had some life situations too. Like, I believe he just got married, or he's going to get married, one of the two. His brother, I believe, is on the team at Auburn. He was coaching first base in the game the other night. So I think there was some like family dynamics getting back home. kind of getting his life started. Probably wanted a bigger role or a role he thought he might have a better chance getting. He's had a great season. He's changed a little bit of his pitch mix a little bit, which I kind of watched for the first time last night. But, you'll never hear me say anything bad about Sam Dutton. Like I said, national champion, good teammate, and, not Friday, but every other day I hope he's successful.
So, Coach, hitting the road again to Auburn this weekend. Y'all have been very, very good on the road. Well, you've been very good, I guess, everywhere thus far this year, to be fair. But are you looking forward to getting back home after this weekend?
Yeah, I always love playing here. There's no doubt about that. I think what I've learned, over my career and definitely in the SEC is you can't look at all the games. You have to look at these games. And I really haven't even let my mind go to, hey, what's next this weekend? And I know super boring. I do know we have an extended kind of homestand coming up, which I'm happy about. The 2 in a row thing is a good challenge. But, with these guys, it hasn't mattered. Are we playing at midnight? Is it 28 degrees with 25-mile-an-hour winds?
Yeah.
Are we running down the line to the porta potty in the middle of the inning? They just got to stay with it no matter what.
There you go. Coach Jay Johnson hitting the road to take on Auburn this week. And Auburn's very good at home thus far this year, but this Tiger team's been very good as well. Coach, thank you so much for waking up with us, making some time for us, and giving us such great insight. As always, you're the best. Best of luck this weekend.
All right, guys. Have a great day.